Welcome, North Florida. Are you ready for our luxury mastermind for June? Are you ready for our luxury mastermind for June? How are you? I'm still admitting a few ladies and gentlemen, so just give me a moment. Hi, Brady. We have a very special guest today, so we're just going to give it a minute or two as I'm letting everyone connect to audio. Hi, Mark Benson. Happy 26th anniversary with Keller Williams, is it?
No, it'll be 22 in August. It's 28 in real estate.
Oh, 28 in real estate, 22 with KW. That is fantastic. It's so nice to see you on here. How's everything in South Florida?
It's wonderful. It's so exciting. It's such an exciting time right now. The opportunities are here for both buyers and sellers. And so I'm glad to be able to listen to everything you have to say today and glad to hear Brady once again.
Wonderful. Without further ado, I'm going to let Brady go ahead. And for those that you do not know who Brady is, he's going to introduce himself. Brady Sandahl, can you, he's in the airport, so I hope he's in the position to go ahead and introduce himself. All right. Well, while he's connecting, I see a few more in the waiting.
I'm connecting.
Yay, there you are.
All right.
Fantastic.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. So traveling from Los Angeles, California over to Chicago, Illinois today. Today's a special day because we have our next KW Luxury Pro speaker series, which is going to happen with author Jill Salzman. Jill wrote an interesting book around entrepreneurships, primarily for mom entrepreneurs. And so tomorrow in Chicago, we're going to have a fireside chat with her about the traps that we often fall into as entrepreneurs. And I wish everybody could be in that room.
I love
and then
it.
We're going to talk about how do you identify the traps and how do you get out of them and the things you need to know, because candidly, we always take care of our clients. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we take care of our clients more than we take care of ourselves. And so for those who are members of KW Luxury Pro, they get to go to these fireside chats once a month. It's always the third Wednesday. And for those who have earned into KW Luxury, they can pay to be there. And it's a great chance. In fact, one of our agents who's a member, last month we were in Seattle and he was on camera. And an agent in Hawaii saw him and
Oh, I think we lost him. Well, I know the story. This gentleman, after being on camera asking questions
about the luxury market, I want to make sure that you're aware of, and then I'm going to let you talk through these things. But for the last 18 months, I've really studied what luxury brands have had to do coming out of the pandemic. Mm-hmm. Because during the pandemic, it was about speed. It wasn't about service. It was speed. It wasn't about standards. It was about speed. Could you keep up with everyone spending money? And when I've been talking with not only agents inside Keller Williams, but talking with CEOs of hotel companies, of retail companies, automobile companies, I mean, these are CEOs, they're all dealing with one thing. People were throwing money at them during the pandemic. Not everybody had the money at the same time, but they were basically catching baseballs. Now, I can't throw a baseball, nor can I catch one, but I understand the money concept really well. And so now these CEOs have come together and they figured out there are 5 things they have to do. Some are doing one really well, others are doing 2, 3, or 4, or 5, but you want to think about what these 5 are. And Mark, I know you've heard this information. So the first thing is prospecting. When we look at these luxury brands like ours, people are prospecting at a really high level. And that matters because you've got to go after the people because they're not coming to you. You're going to have to go after those people. But prospecting, it doesn't mean cold calling, right? It means you're prospecting into a warm database because as the price point goes up, the number of referrals and relationships you get into will increase. So these brands, primarily financial services, automobile dealerships, and hopefully real estate, you're prospecting into your database more than ever before. And here's why. Your clients are getting over 9,000 impressions in their mindset every day. 9,000. So it doesn't matter if they're watching CNN on the left or Fox on the right, they're ingesting information which may not be correct for the market that you're in. You have to be the local newscaster. You have to be the urgent care clinic. You have to be the one that triages that client so that someone else doesn't do it for you. The second thing these big brands are doing is their marketing. Now, brands like Nordstrom, even David Yurman, brands that typically never marketed to the consumer are marketing to attract the consumer. You know why? Good or bad, discretionary income is tighter today than it was 2 years ago. And so they're fighting for your money. They're fighting for your money. And so we have to fight to get the attention of the consumers. And yes, we want everybody to buy in Florida, but candidly, they're also buying in Tennessee. Mm-hmm. They might be buying in Georgia. They might be buying in California. I don't know why, but they may be buying in California. So prospecting and marketing, you're going after, you're attracting. The third thing they're doing, and this is really important, we're seeing this in the hospitality industry at a high level. They're learning how to present. Now, present is not pitch. Present is what we call cater. It's an acronym. Brandy knows, Mark knows, I should have been a kindergarten teacher because my world is filled with acronyms. So cater is be curious about what the person wants when you're in front of them. To make a strong presentation, you have to be curious on what they want. And then you've got to ask, why are you in this open house? Now, there's a softer way of doing that. But you want to ask the questions of, I'm curious. It's a little humid today in Florida. What brought you through the open house today? And then you want to teach them that you have the solution. You have that Tylenol. You have that vitamin to give them what they want in the time they need it. And then you've got to exceed the expectation you've set. So you're curious, you've asked, you've taught, you're exceeding. And then R is you've got to reinforce. You've got to reinforce that behavior with that client so they don't go anywhere else. So when I was over at the Ritz-Carlton last week, and then I went to Lexus yesterday, I'm watching these sales professionals learn how to present because people used to be going in the car dealership all the time, and now they're not going in all the time. So when they're going in to get that luxury home, that luxury car, that luxury hotel experience, you got to cater to what they need. Now, the fourth thing that luxury brands are doing, I think this is where Keller Williams wins, is we're serving at a high level. I don't need to lecture you on how to serve because you know how to serve, but I'm going to ask you a question. Are you serving it the way that you want to be served when you're looking for a luxury experience, or are you serving at the level where you are because maybe we're a little bit tired? So Brandy, big secret. So I've been looking for talent to lead the surprise and delight company division, right? And so I went to the local Ritz-Carlton and I went to the bar and got an iced tea. And it was an iced tea, just iced tea with a lemon. And I asked questions like, who is really winning surprise and delight? They gave me some names. Went to the pool. I should have worn some sunscreen, I'm a little bit red. But anyway, they said, well, you know, this guy. And then I went to Hotel B, this guy. So I went back to LinkedIn that day and I sent a message to that guy. Well, that guy was leading the club lounge experience for Ritz-Carlton. Wow. That guy had previously worked for Coldwell Banker and Ingle Volkers in Chicago. Guess who's starting with us in a couple of weeks to lead surprise and delight for Keller Williams Luxury? Hey. That guy. So when I talked with that guy and took him through the provisioning process very quickly, right? Because this was a no-brainer. Like this is, you couldn't have know.
Sometimes you just know.
Yeah, you just know, right? He said, listen, you have a beautiful brand. You have a beautiful brand. Let's just elevate it to be the most beautiful brand.
Yeah.
Well, that gets down to service, right? We can all choose one thing that we can do a little bit better that makes it that one thing that we're known for. Now, that fifth strategy behind, prospecting, marketing, presenting, serving, the fifth and final one, Brandy does this at a high level. Build. You want to build something big. I think the thing you want to build is your database and then the relationships within that database. You want to build that because what we're noticing in talking with these CEOs is they've all ignored the database. There wasn't time. They didn't need to pay attention. Money was flowing at them so quick, they were trying to catch up. But now they're having to build the database. And what we know before the pandemic is that 70% of your commission was from lead follow-up. During the pandemic, I don't think there was much follow-up.
No.
Like, oh, you bought a house yesterday, here are the keys. Congratulations, we'll see you soon. But today, it might be 90% or more. 90% of the income you're going to put in your bank account is not from the initial interaction. It's probably from the lead follow-up. So build up that database, build up that engagement, build up those relationships, because once you have those relationships, it's very hard to lose them, very hard. So speaking of hard, the LAX terminal is bigger than the state of Florida. I swear to you. I'm going from Terminal 4 to Terminal B, and I'm going to go to that plane kind of over there.
Yeah.
So what questions can I answer from the group before I make the jaunts?
Yeah, we appreciate, I know how much you're traveling for these amazing luxury pro events that are held once a month, which is phenomenal. So we're going to make a great use as we can out of your time. So if anyone would like to come off mute or put questions in the chat, I will monitor the chat before Brady has to run and jump on a plane to Chicago.
Got some good people on here. Terry's on here. Erica's on here.
I saw
Ryan
Chambers jump on. Yeah. So,
yeah.
Someone said this someone has their sound on. Well, that's Brady's in the airport. So
yeah, it's me. I apologize. You're going to get a bunch of gate announcements for the next 90 seconds.
That's okay. Not a problem. Anyone have any questions for Brady? Okay, here we go. No. Helena just says, hi, Brady.
Helena.
Helena, she says, wonderful to see you.
She's so great. I love seeing her living the life she's living. She's living a great life. I'm proud of her.
Love it. Anyone else have questions for Brady? Everyone's being shy today.
Very shy, especially for 12 in the afternoon.
Right.
Yeah,
okay,
Mark. Okay, this is phenomenal. So on the first week of July, we're going to announce our opening keynote presenter and our closing keynote presenter, as well as some of the surprises along the way. So as Mark knows and Brandy is aware of, our symposium is our global luxury sales conference happening this year, October 21st to the 23rd in Phoenix, Arizona. Now, this particular event is the curation of people that are in luxury, not real estate, but in luxury. You get to learn about travel, transportation, architecture, health and wellness, fitness, fashion. We bring these experts on stage. Well, the opening keynoter, epic. The closing keynoter, you've read this person's book as well.
Okay.
You know these people. These are authors, podcast hosts, experts. You don't want to miss them. Am I going to tell you who they are? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Now, the good news is it's at the Waldorf Astoria, which is a Frank Lloyd Wright property, one of the best in the country. And we're going to have some architectural tours of Frank Lloyd Wright real estate while we're in Phoenix. So this is an all-inclusive, meaning that you pay the $19.50 ticket, your food, your entertainment, your hospitality, your learning, your networking, all paid for. You do pay for your travel and your hotel, but really your food, breakfast, lunch, dinners, receptions, all hosted as part of your inclusive ticket. You can learn more by going to KW Luxury. You can find it on KW Connect/communities, go to the Luxury Hub. Of course, Brandy is your regional ambassador. She's here to help. I'm here to help. You can also email luxury@kw.com and we'll get you all the information you need.
I love it.
Tickets are limited. 400 people will be invited. We are almost halfway sold out. So if you are thinking of going, please get registered. We do have limitations. When I'm coming back to Florida, Mark, I'm coming back in less than 3 weeks.
I think you're coming to Miami, right?
I am, yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. So I'm coming to Florida, but then our KW Luxury Pro event in July is in Atlanta. In August, it's in Austin. In September, Minneapolis at the Four Seasons. October in Phoenix at the Waldorf Astoria. November, we're going to Miami. This keynoter in Miami, Okay, listen, if you're KW Luxury Pro member, you get to attend for free because that's part of your monthly membership of $250. If you're an earning agent who wants to test the water, you can pay the $250 for the reception, the fireside chat, the lunch, and the mastermind. That's going to be November 15th. The person we're bringing has been posted to the website. I think it's being released today. He is also an author and a podcast host. Wouldn't surprise me if you got the book if you attended. He's great. The talent's there. So just lean into kwluxurypro.com. kwluxurypro.com. You're going to see more information about the program. We're not selling memberships. We're selling you on you. So if you want to be part of that penthouse experience, we'd love to have you join us.
And I'm going to do just a mini orientation towards the tail end for about the last 15 minutes. So if you have questions regarding that after we open it up for a mastermind, when Brady has to jump on his plane, just stay tuned until 12:45 to 1 range. I'm going to do a little mini orientation. I'm also happy to come to your market center or Zoom in and answer any and all questions.
I love that. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Brady.
What other questions can I answer? We're all good?
I think so. Or anyone?
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Good to go.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Brandy. Appreciate you.
Okay, so as Brady steps off to his plane to Chicago, how exciting is that they're having all these monthly events? Is anyone on here a part of Luxury Pro or thinking about it or have any questions? Otherwise, we can mark you're a member. Anyone else? Okay, great. All right, well, I will answer more questions. Jennifer, yes, I know you are. I think all the regional ambassadors are. Marcy says, I need to look into it further. Okay, great. So about 15 minutes till 1, we'll go ahead and answer any and all questions. So I did see a question in the chat about baby steps. I would just say, definitely hook up with someone in your brokerage or market center, depending on if we call them market centers in KW. So if you're a non-KW agent on here, you probably have someone on your brokerage that you can shadow, do an open house with, or a broker event. I also think that co-listing with luxury agents is a great way to get started. Also luxury builders, going and visiting with them. Interior designers, architects. I used to meet with an architect, interior designer, or luxury builder at least twice a month, if not more. I would take them to lunch. Different estate attorneys are also great too. You have to kind of get through the gatekeeper with some of those situations, but that's a relationship business all in itself. If you did watch the last KW Luxury Mastermind, they had a lovely lady on there talking about divorces and divorce attorneys, and her business is built solely around that and through referrals throughout the country. And she does have a class that you can get certified in. So if you're interested, sorry about that. Okay, so does anyone have anything pressing, burning, topic-wise they want to cover for the mastermind? Go ahead and put it in the chat or take yourself off mute. Mark, how's the market in Naples?
The market is probably returned back to a typical summer market, maybe same for your market. The weather is not particularly sweet right at the moment, so people are not down here visiting family and friends the way they are January through March. So the people who do come typically are very serious about doing something. You wouldn't come in this heat with no friends or family here if you weren't serious about doing something. It's a great time to buy property right now because the competition is not there from other buyers. We may get back into a situation with multiple offers in the fall again. So now is a great time for buyers. And then for sellers, the other opportunity is there may be not as much competition right now that we anticipate when October comes, that people will begin to put their homes back on the market again. And now you're competing against several other homes that you wouldn't be right now.
Yeah, you're definitely more seasonal, I think, than Sarasota. We used to be a little bit seasonal, but I feel we're still very busy. And I will say, beachfront, especially like with the beachfront I just put on just under 16 million. We had 2 showings yesterday and they were both very serious. So like you said, I mean, summer in Florida, if you're looking at a beachfront home and jumping on a plane, you're typically serious. So certainly accept those showings. I'll, of course, ask for proof of funds, but anyone else have anything pressing going on in their particular market area? You want to talk about Chat GPT, Mark? Is that something on your list?
It's on my brand, just like command is an ever updating thing. It seems that daily or weekly there's something new coming out, and I hate to be behind the curve. I like to try, and I don't want to be on the bleeding edge, but I also want to be able to compete with others. And so learning how people are using that in their luxury business would be helpful.
Yeah, we've had a couple of classes in our market center. So if anyone's interested, we record all of our classes, and then we have a training website where people can go, through the library and refer to them. So if you don't have that training going on right now, I can get you in touch with someone that does teach that type of technological class, or I can send you a recording. I know sometimes it's really nice to go live, but if it's something you want to know now and there's nothing coming up on your training calendar, we have 3 or 4 classes a day in our market centers, which is KW Suncoast and Keller Williams Island Life Real Estate. So if there's ever a topic, I'm all about sharing is caring. I'm happy to send you a recording as long as the instructor gives me permission. Sometimes there's some.
That would be great if you could, if it's allowed.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone else doing any business using Chat GPT?
How many times have you had a buyer perhaps coming in and they contacted all the builders and developers before they met you? Wouldn't it be nice to have a white paper that explained why you want to use an agent, and not contact the builder directly, or the developer, or the community before you meet with your agent? Chat GPT could probably compile that in a matter of a few minutes. That might take you a day.
I actually have that for you. I have a whole sheet. So KW New Homes Community, I don't know if you know Bill, they actually put out, if you go through the certification, they actually put out just 1-page documents that I highly recommend when you're doing a buyer consultation, because I don't know about you all, and not to get on too much of a touchy subject, but I'm seeing the buyer representation either being weaker or going away at some point, especially with what's going on. I'm sure you're all reading the media, so I don't want to get into the lawsuit stuff, but we have noticed, and I'm not going to mention any builder names. However, we've noticed with semi-custom or even luxury builders, where there is a process with their registration system that could very easily cut the agent out of the deal if their process is not followed. And it varies per builder. So it's really important to understand the process. Just registering them one time and being present does not guarantee the compensation with every builder. So make sure you get a copy of that. And then, like I said, there is a 1-page sheet I'm happy to send. Now it's specific to KW. This is kind of copyrighted to KW. I'm sure, your broker has something similar if you're with a different brokerage, but it kind of has all the reasons why it's important for a buyer to consider hiring a buyer agent to be represented on the new construction purchases. And that's very popular here in Florida. Let's see. I think our next mastermind, Ruben, I'm going to get to your question after this, but our next mastermind is going to be how we're applying interior design services through builders in our local luxury market. So if you're interested in either partnering with an interior designer, or if you have any connections, we actually have our own company and a staging company in addition to our interior design and repair and remodel. But if you're not looking to build out those ancillary, or what I consider client concierge services, you can partner with people locally. So we'll be talking about that in our next mastermind. And that's on the new construction topic. Kirsten says, I would like a copy as well. Okay, great. I'll probably put my email in the chat towards the end so that you can email me directly, because it'll be, I hate to say this, too much work for me to copy and paste all of your emails right now while leading this. So it's very easy. It's brandycoffey@thecoffeegroup.com. I'll put it in the chat later. Judy says, I'm wondering if any of you have worked with a buyer who has used cryptocurrency to purchase a luxury property. If so, would it be okay to connect you to discuss it? Yes, Judy. I also have a really good friend here locally in Sarasota who's a developer, real estate investor, and we're talking about putting together a curriculum for agents to get certified in that process, because I'm learning that a lot of people are unfamiliar with the process, and we'd be happy to And there's other, yeah, Marcy said you may need to be blockchain certified. There are other programs that are already out there if you wanted to go ahead and do it now. This would be more on a local level where you could come in person in the Sarasota Bradenton area. If you are in Florida, you could drive there. Okay, Ruben's question. I'm just scrolling back here. I'm not leaving you out. Baby steps if you're just new to the market, but know a couple of people at this level of luxury. It's all about relationships. I'm sure other people might pipe in and comment on this as well, but you just have to be where people are that you want to be in business with. So that might be, again, charity events, going to the Ritz, like we're a member of the Ritz-Carlton Golf, Beach and Spa Club. So we're, either there or at Laurel Oak Country Club, just kind of depends. And, not to say we want to be in business with every member that's there. And there are other realtors that live there, but it's just a good place to be. You're going to eat and break bread at some point throughout your day. You might as well go and do that where you want to build relationships. So that would be a good baby step if you're looking to build your database, as Brady says. Will title attorney companies accept crypto? So Michelle, there's only specific title companies. So if you want, you and I can chat offline since you are in my brokerage. I'm happy to give you, there's a few in our area. That'd be happy to help you with that. Here's closing. Kirsten says, closing next week on my first luxury sale with buyers. Hooray. Great. It's a second home for them. Ideas on staying connected, closing gift and beyond. I usually do the surprise and delight defining moments throughout the process, because a lot of my buyers are not here, and then they least expect a closing gift at the end because we're surprising them throughout the process. So with the buyer, it would be after the listing agreement is signed. And yes, I use listing agreements with buyers. And then maybe after inspection, after appraisal, if it's a finance deal, sometimes they have an appraisal when it's not. And then maybe after contingencies have been all removed, and then maybe another gift at closing. But the budget would be very similar to the actual total closing gift at the end. One thing that we've done is use local people that are very customized gift that are specific to our area. So we're supporting small businesses. If you are local to my area, or even Naples, this would work in Naples, Mark, I'll send you a friend of mine on Instagram. She actually makes custom cutting boards and things that are branded with your name or their names if you want it for them. And they're very kind of coastal, but not cheesy, if you will. And if I were to show you the Instagram, you'd be pretty impressed with some of the things that are small items, but are just, again, kind of local to your area. And it's also good for referral partners you're sending from your area elsewhere. Any other ideas for Kirsten on that? All are so quiet today. Mark, who has a virtual assistant specifically helping with your luxury business? I have 2 cyberbackers. One is for online marketing, social media, website. And then I have an in-person listing assistant I just hired that graduated from Ringling Art and Design, which is a top art school in our local area. So you can find a lot of proven talent, even though they're not in real estate, from maybe a design school, because they have that aesthetic eye for luxury marketing. And then we have one person that specifically manages our database. Anyone else have virtual assistants they're using at a super high level? We are hiring another transaction coordinator that's a cyberbacker, and my director of ops, her last job was hiring cyberbackers. So not to create another business, because everyone will laugh when I say that. But I was thinking what a great business that would be, to hire cyberbackers and train them for an agent so they're ready to go. Because that's the hesitancy of hiring sometimes virtual assistants, because they don't have time to train them. Client Giant is good throughout. Okay, thanks, John. Fibri is a great resource for RE blockchain ideas and updates. Thank you, Russell. And AI, he says. See, look at this. Even though you're being quiet, we're sharing and caring throughout the chat. Okay, so let's go back to what Brady was saying about people spending money differently. Are you finding that to be the case in your market? And what does it look like with the buyer business? Are you seeing the buyer's agents, like I said, kind of struggling a little bit? I know we're super listing heavy. I mean, we were about 75%. We are, I should say, year to date, 75% listings with our business, which is typically 60-40, very healthy. And of course, we love listings, so I'm not certainly complaining about that. But is anyone super listing heavy and the buyer business is down, or what does that look like in your world? No buyer business at all? Okay, here we go. We have some, they were just typing as I was talking. John says it's been more buyer heavy for me lately. Okay, well, that's good. You've got some buyer business. Okay, Michelle, same thing. And I'm seeing that in your business because obviously I'm following our brokerage statistics where the entire KW Island Life Real Estate, one of the brokerages I run, is very listing heavy. And Michelle says hers is 80-20. Jennifer says, looking for listings here, buyer heavy. Isn't it interesting? So Jennifer's in Colorado. So that's interesting how it's different in different markets. So with your buyers, maybe we can touch on those that have more buyers than listings. Where are you finding the buyer business? And then listing agents, would you mind sharing where your listing business is coming from? So that way, if you're heavy on one or the other, we can share some ideas.
Hey, this is John Sullivan. The buyers have just been more referrals lately and word of mouth. As far as listings, I need to delve deeper into my database in order to fire up the additional listings that I'm looking for current.
Okay, great. Yeah, maybe, of course, what you focus on expands. So I always say set a metric to that. So if you're, let's say you're, 70% buyer, I'm just guessing. I don't know exactly what your numbers look like, John, but let's say 30% listing. What would that goal look like? Do you want it to be 50-50, 60-40 with listings, or just maybe an increments increase by 10% to make it 40% listing, or 40% listing and 64 sellers, and then have like a target date in which you want to have that change occur?
I'd honestly prefer the minimum 60% listings and 40% buyers. Mm-hmm. And I want to achieve that within the next, I'd say, 2 months.
Okay, great. So 60 days from now, we're all going to hold him accountable. Make sure you're on every monthly call. It's the third Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, John. So we're gonna ask you 3 questions. Yeah. These are my one-on-one questions that I ask. What was your goal? Number 2, so you know what to expect. Did you reach it? And the third question is, how do you feel about that? And if it was, no, I didn't reach my goal, sometimes the 4th question would be, okay, John, so who in your world are you letting down by not reaching that income goal? And make it about your income goal. And that might help, because then it's like, wow, it's about my family. And yes, we have to serve our clients, but what will this do for our family? Or maybe it's a charitable organization you're going to, have 10% go to. So that's kind of my thing, is 10% needs to go at minimum to different charities. So whatever that might mean, those would be great questions we ask you in 60 days.
I love that. Who would I be letting down? Myself. I'd say with my move to Colombia in 6 months, this is my first luxury mastermind. So I wanted to get the feel for it. And the move down to Colombia is going to be what I'm building on as far as why.
Okay, well, that's okay. We're going to hold you accountable. And does everyone want to help John get to Colombia? I mean, that's his goal. I hope so. Hope everyone's rooting for you. Michelle says all sphere of influence and referrals by word of mouth. Yes, I do see that heavy in your business. And that just seems to always work, right? Good old fashioned way of building relationships. Colleen says listing from previous buyers, buyers from referrals. I love it. So you're turning those buyers. So that's good news for any of you that are heavy on the buy side. Those will eventually be your listing referrals. And I tell you, the first time you see a buyer that you sold a home to list with someone else because you didn't stay in touch, that hit in the gut, as soon as you see that on the multiple listing service, you will vow to never let that happen again. And you'll be so conscientious about your quarterly past client calls and if not more, right, with your client events and different ways in which you can touch them. Mark says sphere of influence, former clients, referrals from friends and other agents. So I mean, sounds like we're all doing what most top agents do. Nothing new, nothing different. Has anyone noticed an increase in terrible work luxury market agents, meaning bad picks, bad pricing, etc.? Makes me realize I need to market even more. I think what Brady was saying about the prospecting, I think that this is such an opportunity to not just market, but to prospect to your avatar. Who is it that you really want the bulk of your business to be in, especially if you're trying to increase your price point? I mean, we listen, we list and sell everything, but again, what you focus on expands. So if you want to have more luxury and you want to increase that over time, I think it's a really good time to not just market, but prospect. I had the honor and privilege and opportunity to go see Sarah Reynolds' operation. I don't know if you're familiar with Empire Home and Sarah Reynolds, but she runs $1 billion real estate company as a team, not a brokerage, as a team. So she also just started a mortgage company a few years ago. Her husband is a mortgage broker, so they now are feeding their mortgage company, and that will grow over time. The process and the systems in which they stay in front of people through prospecting and marketing is phenomenal. They have a program for pretty much anything. So there's a reason for people to contact them. So most of the people that are contacting them are inbound leads. They very rarely have to go outbound. And I think last week she said there were over 1,200 inbound leads in her system. So I think she's probably going to take even more market share with the way that they're so systematic about a program versus marketing themselves. Because I find what happens is a lot of luxury agents, like you said, are doing really bad marketing, and it's marketing themselves with this like giant picture of themselves versus having a program to have the inbound calls. If you think about it, in our area, we have over 10,000 agents. If everybody just advertised a picture of themselves as this luxury agent, it doesn't really give them a reason to contact them. So I would think of some ways to have inbound calls on top of your database, and even your database to call you. A lot of that is focused towards their database, not just a farm area or something like that. Okay. And yes, I've seen bad pictures, bad pricing. That just started, I think, really bad through COVID, and it's continued on, but that might go away. Diane says, I actually do almost entirely 55 plus, and I've been always at least 2 to 3 listings and rest buyers, but the market is different lately. Buyers quicker to back out. This is Orlando market. Diane, I don't know if you're familiar with Dan Iera and his wife, Julie. They run a big team in Hawaii, and they have a KW community called KW Planner. You might find a lot of benefit out of jumping on one of their webinars. It's all about the largest transfer of wealth in our country specific to that demographic. Colleen says, sorry for the lack of grammar there. Type too fast. You're talking to a high D. No apologies. Jeff says, curious, should databases be tagged with luxury versus luxury clients and then offer them different promotional warm-up giveaways? I think the price point will dictate how you surprise and delight. You're going to have a budget. So yes, on our team, we have a different budget for each price point. Operations is really mindful of that. As far as tagging them in the system, most of the time there's a price point that they're looking in, so that kind of indicates, but in my opinion, the experience should be the same regardless of the price point. So our experience for our clients doesn't vary. It's a luxury experience in general, regardless of price point. Mark response, we have a program system for that. Yes. Yes. Okay, I think that's all of anything else to add? Fantastic. How do you determine the amount you spend? Is it a percentage per 100,000? For me, I'm big on just making sure that I'm following the MREA budget and economic model. So typically what you're going to do, if you're not really good with putting together a budget, you want to have someone that is coaching you on that. If that's your team leader in your market center or your CEO of another brokerage, manager would be in some other brokerage. Everyone has different terminology. We call them team leaders at KW. Your operating principle is probably the best though, especially if you're in the top 20%. It's our job to teach agent financials, and also the market center administrator should be really familiar with the MREA models and systems. I do have a really good luxury spreadsheet. If you'd like me to send it, it's kind of the luxury MREA budget and economic model that you can take a look at. So it depends on how you categorize it. I'm seeing most agents tighten up their lead gen to about 10%. Some expansion teams are up to 15% because remember, they're either buying leads or building relationships and doing MOFRs, make offer for immediate response, like a program like Sarah Reynolds does. She has many different expansion locations because she's in the DC, Virginia area. So she's licensed in several states, and then they just expanded to Atlanta. Ron would like the spreadsheet. Yep, I can send that to you. If you want, you all just send me an email. It'll be a lot easier. Let me go ahead and type my email in here, and then in a few minutes, I'll jump. Does anyone kind of want to go over some luxury tools? Get familiar with what you have access to? Yes, please. Okay. Any other questions before we jump into our little mini orientation? And again, even if I'm outside of your region, I'm happy to put you in touch with your regional luxury ambassador or help them do an orientation. Typically it'd be on Zoom unless I'm already teaching in that area. If you want, go ahead and put some questions you might have about luxury or the luxury hub while I'm pulling this up for you. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. How to find previous luxury masterminds specific to the ones I do the third Tuesday of every single month. You're welcome to find me on YouTube. It's the Coffey Group Find Homes International. My logo is just the C backwards with the G. And again, I can email you the YouTube channel. You'll find all the ones that we've done. I did see there were a few missing, so I did get with my cyberbacker to help me make sure they get all updated. If you're within my region, they're also on the regional website. Ashley posts those for us. Very nice of her. Okay, so this is something that I typically would recommend that you run in your market center every single month. Again, if your leadership isn't familiar with who your regional luxury ambassador is, I'm happy to get you in touch. I have the roster, or you can reach out to KW. This is, hopefully you're all aware of our mission, belief, and our promise. I definitely recommend, if you have a team or even if you're an individual agent, to define what your mission is. Sometimes that does change over time, but if you think about any big brand, there is a tagline, a mission, a belief system, and typically a promise or some core values they have listed on their website. One of the big listings that I just took over as an expired, one of the reasons why they liked our organization. So I never called a team. I run an organization. I run several organizations. But we had a very clear, defined mission and core values and belief system that was aligned with theirs. They're very philanthropic. So my mission is to help increase as many families' net worth in my community. And by doing so, hopefully they'll feel inclined to give back to their community, which is my community, right? We live in the same community. So Keller Williams is the house of excellence, known for our distinct approach to real estate, a reputation built around tailored experiences. Notice that we don't use the word service. So I always feel it's the bare minimum to service, right? If you get provided a service, like getting your tires changed, well, that's a service, but what was your experience like? For instance, I went to breakfast on Sunday after, we actually have a neighbor who's an optometrist. So they let us come in on Sunday in their office as a favor. And we decided to go to breakfast. Well, we forgot it was Father's Day because my father golfs every single Sunday in a golf tournament. And so we weren't meeting him until 3 p.m. for a late lunch or early dinner. And we knew it was going to be busy at the breakfast place as soon as it dawned on us. But we watched the most horrible experience for every single person in that restaurant. And we've been to another restaurant owned by that same group on Siesta and always had a wonderful experience. So it just goes to show when you expand or you're building your organization out, you want to have the standards to be very clear and the expectations to be the same as if you or someone in your organization is tailoring that experience. And then, of course, loyal clientele. Loyalty is one of our core values. So that's why we're really aligned with KW Luxury. And success stories beyond compare. Keller Williams agents are leaders in luxury, selling more luxury real estate than any other company. Our mission, KW Luxury, defines the standards of excellence in luxury real estate and the service interactions within. And then, of course, our belief, luxury is the result of mastery. And our brand promise, lead the future of luxury real estate. So hopefully, if you haven't seen those before, Brady, who you just heard from, is the director of growth. Caroline is a director of professional development. And then you are typically going to have a regional ambassador in your area. And again, if you'd like the roster, I can certainly get you in touch with your regional ambassador. Brandy is amazing. Brandy with an I. We always say I'm Brandy with a Y and she's Brandy with an I. She is the luxury operations specialist. And then Gilbert is the luxury operations coordinator. And then Glenifer is the luxury support specialist. Sometimes when you're emailing luxury support at luxury@kw.com is how you would get in touch with Glenifer. 6 verticals of luxury, no matter which company you're with, I would hope that these all kind of stand out to you, but specific, these are our verticals of luxury. How it's defined, I get a lot of questions on this. The top 10% of your county is what it should be using the multiple listing service within the past 12 months. I implore the markets that are leadership to pull that on an annual basis and adjust what we consider is the threshold. The absolute minimum would be 700,000. I would highly recommend not just establishing the minimum, but truly understanding what the top 10% is in your market center. I know it, sometimes looks good when you're just trying to get luxury agents into the program, but I think that that's a great coaching moment to really show them how to run the statistics in that specific area and really show them what the top 10% is so that they're not misled and that you can have that opportunity to sit down with them and set some goals around what that true top 10% is versus just putting up a lot of people in luxury based on the minimum or the absolute minimum that you're allowed to choose. That really isn't doing the agent any service, in my opinion, as an OP. Regional leadership may accept the top 10% as their luxury threshold or may choose to increase the minimum price point to meet their local market. I would definitely suggest that you choose it to your market so it's less confusing to the agents. And then again, you can't go lower than 700. So for example, the top 10% in Austin might be 1.25 adjusted to 1 million, which is above the 700 minimum. If the county falls below 700, then obviously it'll default to 700. Any questions on that? Okay, I see something in the chat. Google Local. I'm sure you're familiar with Google Local. A lot of people place reviews. Yeah, you also want to download Google Analytics 4. I was just listening to a podcast. So if that's not attached to your website, you want to make sure that it is. but we can maybe do a mastermind based on Google. Google Local is definitely a good way to get traction, and reviews are very important. We have set a goal this week with our team for each team member to go out and get at least 2 referrals and reviews each. So we'll find out at our coaching call 4:30 if everyone did that. For me, if you want to go review at thecoffeegroup.com, that will help me reach my goals. If I haven't already received them, I haven't looked at our totals yet. An agent can earn into the luxury community, meeting these production standards. And by doing that, they have to have 4 luxury qualified transactions within 24 months. I've heard a lot of different variations of this, but this is actually what the earned in community is. And then luxury eligibility is based on individual. For a team to qualify, each team member would have to qualify. So I know there's been some confusion on that as well. And this is really great. This is the 30, 60, 90. So if you've hired someone to your brokerage or your team and they've earned into luxury, this will help them understand the tools and resources and all the benefits of KW Luxury and what the brand means by taking them through their first 30 days, their next 60 days, and then 90 days following this. This is where you're going to find all of your benefits on Luxury Hub. So you'll see all these little boxes on the hub. So when you click on this link, and I'll make this a little bit bigger, this is what it looks like. So on July 6th, a good friend of mine, Dean Otto, he's in Maui. He is going to be doing a mastermind for Luxury Pro. It'll tell you when the masterminds at Mega Camp are being held. And then there's other resources. You'll see the 30, 60, 90s on here. You'll see on my Instagram, we post a lot of the luxury social media toolkit items, and also on Facebook. There's different ways in which you post them to Instagram and Facebook. And then Elite Luxury Designs are all located in Command. So you can find them in there, but you might be able to see some examples to give you ideas. This is what the luxury sign looks like. I highly recommend that your ALC or your luxury committee leads by example and educating the agents in your market center to show that we have a lot of market share with luxury. These signs are very clean, modern, and are focused on the property. I know that we have a lot of teams and we've built a brand, and that's fantastic, but the seller really wants the actual luxury market or property to be marketed. And so if you've earned in, you can have a KW Luxury with your team name. So ours says the Coffey Group underneath of it, but we don't use our branded blue signs that we typically use on anything that's in our luxury price points. And then there's marketing packages for pretty much anything you need here. We do have options for you to have your social media done for you by Michael Lewis Marketing Suite. And then any marketing collateral for your listings, they can all do that for you on your behalf, should you not have an assistant or a cyberbacker, as Mark mentioned. And then there's a private KW Luxury Facebook group. There's also a KW Luxury Pro if you've earned into Pro. Any property above 5 million, you would want to submit to at KW Luxury Official. Well, you'll send it to KW Luxury to be featured on the Instagram at KW Luxury Official. So it's great to show your sellers. It's great for all of your peers that are focused on properties in that above 5 million price point to see. Actually, this is one of my listings right here. That one was not above 5 million. I think it was only like 2 million, but maybe they've set a new bar. Luxury learning guide. So this is really great. So you have all the notes from the past masterminds. There's a lot of resources. So if you're looking to find the recordings of those masterminds from the earned in luxury, it's there. And then there's a separate site for KW Luxury Pro if you're unfamiliar with that. And then the luxury lore. This is really great because I use this on social media. I use this when I'm looking to attract agents. It'll show you all the different statistics on sales. So you can see, even going back to the end of 2021, you can see you have January 1st through December 31st, 2022. And then you have year to date from January through May. So they update this pretty frequently, but I love using this. This is built into my listing consultation. This is built into even buyer consultations. And this is specific to properties over 1 million in US and Canada. I also share the statistics of all of KW, not just luxury, when I am on a luxury appointment. Any questions so far?
Brandy, if you were clicking in and out, it was still on the main page.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. Okay. So let me try this again. Are you seeing this new page come up?
No, it's still on the main page.
Okay, let me stop and try it one more time. I apologize. Okay, now can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, so this is your luxury hub. This is different than the consumer facing side. So this will show you what's coming up with community receptions at Mega Camp, the luxury symposium that Brady mentioned. You'll want to register because again, it's going to sell out the dates. Any classes coming up. With Luxury Pro, after 90 days, this class is free. Otherwise, there is a charge for it. And then this is for Luxury Pro with Dean. That's coming up on July 6th. And you'll see different events there. And then these were the resources I was mentioning. So I apologize you didn't see them. They're all easily definable and categorized with subject matter. So I was clicking on the lore report, and it's basically something you can turn into a PowerPoint or a PDF. And then you can incorporate different slides into your consultation. This is the orientation. So if you are a regional ambassador or you're on the luxury ALC, you might want to get familiar with that orientation slide deck. It is updated frequently. And then there's other resources down here. Here's some of the most recent, this is the most recent Mastermind. And I believe that was the one on the divorce expert. You can go back. Do not laugh at the very first one we did because Brady interviewed me as kind of a test model, but it was the first one we did. So the production level was a little different back in those days. And then these are just, you know, little merchandise items from Red Label that you can purchase. And then you can check out Agent Lux Suite for luxury marketing materials. You can leverage that out and have them done for you if you do not have an assistant, or maybe they want to leverage it. And then these are some samples of what that Agent Lux social content that can be done for you, or you can do, you know, your good old fashioned sweat equity and do it yourself, or have your cyberbacker do it on your behalf. Any questions on that so far? Okay, so we'll keep rolling. So these are the 3 different levels. I've had a lot of confusion and questions on this. So if you'd like, I can send this to you. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger and then I'll zoom back out, but I want to go through, this is what happens with the complimentary services for KW Luxury, where your listing qualifies. So this would be $1 million and up. You have online resources. You do have access to the private Facebook group. You have access should you choose to hire an actual luxury maps coach. The luxury branding and style guide is important to follow for those listings that earn in. And then your real estate signs, the only difference between the sign that's all white with the black lettering that is very simplistic, that we're looking to have everyone use for luxury listings, is that you don't have a name under KW Luxury as your team name. So for instance, when I reference the Coffey group being under KW Luxury, that would be for an earned in agent. So just know that if you're in leadership, you're going to have some questions regarding that. And then you do have enhanced syndication. There is a link I can send you on where your listings syndicate to. We're going to get to that a little bit later in here. So let me just roll through this quickly. And then if you have more questions after we show you where to find these things, we can stay on a few minutes after. Property marketing on Instagram, KW Luxury Magazine. We do a 1-page ad. It's very inexpensive. It's quarterly. And then there's a digital version of that magazine. And then again, they want to reference it's 1 million plus properties. There's some luxury merchandise, luxury templates and designs that you can have access to. And then I'm just going to zoom out and slide over a little bit here. Oop, it's not what I wanted to do. Sorry about that. There we go. Okay, hopefully you can see that better. I know it's a little small print on this particular slide. I'm just going to slide over as best I can. So when you've earned in with those 4 properties in a 24-month period, these are some additional benefits. That Luxury Agent 30, 60, 90 program. You have access to being identified as a luxury agent under referrals in command. I hope you're all using that because it's really powerful when you're on a listing appointment and you can tell sellers and show them the migration patterns. I use that as a tool, but if you're not adding your referrals in there, I know we have all relationships. It's not about always finding your agent on there, but adding that referral to command can help you leverage when you're on a listing appointment. So you might send the referral through Facebook or a good old fashioned phone call or a text or an email, but at least maybe have your administrative person or someone in operations add the referral to command simply for tracking purposes. It's easy to kind of see all your referrals too. It also ensures you don't forget to pay the referral, which is kind of important. And then luxury event calendar, you'll have access to annual luxury symposium, which again is going to be in Arizona this year in October, mid-October, in-person masterminds, luxury receptions, luxury Zoom masterminds is specific to this for KW luxury. Now I do my own in the region open to everyone. It's a little different situation. Then the monthly luxury lore that we mentioned, the 4 essential pillars to grow your luxury business that Caroline teaches, the orientation I just referenced and that we're going through, and then access to Michael Lewis marketing, Agent Lux Suite, and Agent Lux Social. So if you want everything kind of done for you, print or social marketing collateral, you can hire them to do that, and you have access to that. Luxury buyer and seller presentations that are really easy to modify, and then monthly luxury social media marketing kit that we had shown you previously. Client-facing luxury suite. And then Luxury Pro is the newest level. And this is available to market KW luxury qualifying properties and all complementary resources for what you've already seen with KW Luxury Earn-In. Plus, you have admission and access to KW Luxury Pro referral directory. So it's agents that are specializing in higher end properties, specifically in that directory. And then enrollment into KW Luxury Pro Facebook, a separate Facebook, pro circles and specific masterminds. And there are production tiers for that. And then exclusive access to virtual Luxury Pro speaker series. That is monthly. So you have in-person and virtual. And then there will be a digital library. You can access the recording should you have missed it or want to rewatch it. I've rewatched a couple of them. It's really good content. It's actually helped me a lot. Priority registration. I know a lot of the masterminds sell out and maybe people have accidentally unsubscribed from receiving emails from KW Luxury or KWI. With the Luxury Pro, you actually have priority registration, so you don't forget about it at these big events. Be it last year, if you went to our luxury mastermind and family reunion, it was a packed room. Priority registration for the luxury symposium. I've had this booked for quite some time, being a part of Pro. And then complimentary administration after 90 days, or admission, excuse me, for 4 essential pillars to grow your luxury. And I'll probably take it again for the second time, just so I can get better at teaching it. And then events and experiences, you have complimentary reception at family reunion and mega camp. We do have our guides. I've kind of shown you some of this already, so we can cruise through that. The calendar. These are all links. So if you need the links to them, just let me know. This is the class. We mentioned referrals, masterminds, the Facebook group. I think you're all pretty familiar with the branding and the social media kit. Talked about it a few times. Here's a template if you're looking to welcome luxury agents. Our region handles that for us, fortunately. And then this is an example of the signs I had referenced earlier. Now, this is an example of a team sign. So you still have your team name underneath. Again, I highly recommend having a different sign for your luxury properties. It's only going to help us take more market share versus every agent having a different sign. I know how hard you've worked to brand your team, but really luxury sellers, they want the property to be the highlight, not your picture on your sign or your team logo. And then this is the link to show where your listings syndicate once they've qualified. Wall Street Journal, Mansion Global, James Edition, Barron's Group, Market Watch, and Penta. If you're unfamiliar how to check and make sure these are syndicating, I'm glad to send you this link. And then if you'd like to find a MAPS coach, you can specifically ask for a luxury MAPS coach. This is just an example of some of the merchandise you can order. And then if you are not receiving KW Luxury emails, I get a lot of people asking if for some reason they've accidentally opted out or they're not receiving notices of the masterminds at Mega Camp Family Reunion, you can scan this and it'll help you go to the form to opt back in so that you receive those emails from KW Luxury. And then step 2, you want to open your email and click update your subscription preferences on KW, which means, we're not going to spam you, or KW is not going to spam you, I should say. So you want to make sure that you have subscribed. Okay. And then this just shows you what to select once you're in there. Okay, that's all I have. I'm sorry I went 5 minutes over. I hope we're not on here for 5 months. Any other questions? I'm going to check the chat real fast. I am on Google Local, so I am familiar with that. That might be a good mastermind topic for the following month. Next month, we're going to do new construction, how to leverage interior design, staging, offer some extra value to builders. We're also going to talk about I can maybe bring up that value sheet, Mark, and show you what that looks like from KW New Homes, get some ideas you can even add to yours. So it'll be based more around new construction and how to share value with builders, and also how to represent buyers and do a proper buyer consultation tailored around new construction. And then maybe we can do in August, the Google Mastermind, if that will be beneficial. I'll see if we can get a guest speaker for that too. My husband's really good at that, so maybe I can con him into doing it for us. Can you recommend that more fonts are added to Command? You can actually recommend that. So you can actually email tech support, or you can get with your Market Center tech trainer. There are labs you can also participate in. I've actually flown to Austin as a luxury lab person to make recommendations. So a lot of people come to me with these recommendations. I am fortunately not the tech person that's actually creating the agent-centric technology with Command. So I personally would not be able to make that change, but you can certainly make these requests. They do listen. We are a very agent-centric company, and they are wanting your feedback, because a lot of the tech ladies and gentlemen are not in real estate. So that's why they have these labs with agents giving their feedback. Actually, one of my agents was just in one at Mega Camp. They also have them live at Mega Camp, where you can sign up and participate live in the labs at Mega Camp. Do you have to be a luxury agent to see the hub? Yeah. So that's that 3 level we just went through that kind of showed the different tiers. Do the 1 million properties include listings and sales? Are you talking about for qualification, John? He might have jumped off.
Yes, for qualification.
Yes, it can be buy or listing side. Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep. And, listen, I would love to say that every market leader is up on the back end of KW Command looking to see who's qualified. But you might want to ask. Now, I'm a luxury regional ambassador, so I'm on there all the time, Johns, because there's nothing more than what I want to do is call one of my agents. And, I'm super excited to give that call because I love luxury. Someone else might not be paying attention to it as much, and fair enough. That's not their area. So you might want to check in with them and just find out if you're unsure. They should see it under Command NC, which is the leadership version of Command that they would have access to.
I'll check into that at the Market Center.
I would tell you, you would know, because I would have called you and said, congratulations, but I'll keep checking. So,
I know I've done about 3 million, so I should be in it.
Yeah. So it's about the 4 transactions in the 24 months. And then by the way,
4 transactions.
You also have to requalify. So that's also a really good retention opportunity. If you're ALC luxury chair, or you're on the growth committee, or you're helping your market center grow to build your profit share and hopefully build your team. Like before I was a finance chair before I was an OP. And so I was always teaching and working with leadership and seeing how I could add value and grow the market center. And then that led to opportunities to become an OP of multiple market centers and grow my other ancillary businesses. So I know that sounds like work, but I really enjoyed it. And then it also led to opportunities being a regional ambassador for luxury. So whatever it is that you're looking to do with your business, if you are looking to grow into leadership or do different things, you can always offer to help your leadership. Like, how can I help maybe mentor agents and help them to get the luxury sales? Or teach. It's always good to teach. Sometimes the more you give back, the more opportunities you get. You know, it just works like that. Any other questions? Okay, well, I would love to be a resource for you anytime. Even if you're outside of my region, I'm happy to connect you with anyone or help your leadership grow our luxury communities on all 3 levels. Have a great day, everyone.
Thanks, Brandy.
My pleasure.
Have a great day.
See you soon.